morning. Good morning. It's Friday. Woohoo! Are we yelling? It's Friday, you guys. Woohoo! Jump on in, grab your cup of coffee, grab your water, grab your tea, whatever you have. Let's wrap up the week. I'm so excited to have you here. Today is a recipe day in the group, you guys. Recipe day. So if you don't know, every month we do a 5-day free challenge. It's totally free. It's in the group. You don't even have to sign up. You just show up and I go live 5 days in a row. This is our 28th one. Like, we've been doing this a while. We know what we're doing, right? And I love how people, you take that challenge and you give yourself permission to go 1 month at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 month at a time. And then you like string together so that you can have success. And it's just like, you guys do such a good job. So the group is called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And you can jump in there. The replays will be there. Just make sure you give your email to get in, okay? You got to give your email. But we have like over 6,000 women in there now. And which I know is really tiny compared to most groups. I understand, but over 6,000. And at the very top of the page, there's a featured section. And if you go up into the featured section, that's where all the replays get put up there. So you could go back and you could spend the weekend watching from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? Isn't that what? Anyway, okay. Every time you see a movie or something, things come to your brain. But today we're going to do a recipe day. So I'm very excited about that. So jump in there. And then those replays will stay there for a month until we do our next one, because then Meta takes them down. It's all good. Good Friday morning, Sharon. Good to see you, my Canadian friend. And by the way, when I do talk about supplementation, always ask me for my Canadian link. Okay, because not everything is available in Canada. It hasn't launched yet. And also, too, you want to be able to see your own universe, your own country's universe, right? So ask me for a Canadian link if you are from Canada. I'm getting a lot of Canadian people, which is amazing. I'm in Minnesota, just to let you know. So I'm not very far away from Canada. People come from Canada down to, we have outlet malls, and they come down here to the Twin Cities and they end up like shopping down here. So we have a lot of Canadian people and connections. So it's amazing. All right. So today what I want to do very specifically is I want to talk about how to do like a weekend reset so that you don't feel like you're having to restart on Monday. Like, let me give you some tangible things. In fact, first of all, if you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay and where you're coming in from. Second of all, something is weird on Facebook and I can't see. I mean, I can see people are there, but I can't see comments and I don't know why. That's very weird. It's all good. It's all good. We'll see. We'll see how that works. And then secondly, grab a pen. Grab a pen. I'm going to give you tangible things today that you might want to have written down for the weekend. Super, super simple things. There we go. Oh my gosh, everything just changed. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Marla. Nice to meet you. Good morning, sweet lady from California, Patty. Good to see you. All these women showing up with their testimonies in hand, ready to go. Love it, love it, love it. Who said? Oh, Shama. Good morning. Good morning. I think, is your first name Shama? I called you Shama in our comments when I was Instagramming you. Let me know. I would love to know if I got it right, because, sometimes I don't know. Anyway, you just let me know. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about a weekend reset. Now, when I share a lot of mindset during the week in the group, like when we're doing challenges like this, I talk about how, and I even did it in my stories a little bit this morning. Yes, okay, Shama, very nice to meet you in like person, at least live. I wasn't the fastest person to ever take this journey, right? I was raised by a type 2 dad, insulin dependent, Italian family, lots of obesity and type 2 in my family. Everything, my norm was hypodermic needles and insulin vials in the fridge. That was my normal, right, growing up. I mean, I always talk about, I can remember that I could go mentally into my mother's bedroom, to the dresser and to that bottom drawer. And that's where the hypodermic needles were, in the Ziploc baggie, because we were taught at a very young age that you don't touch them, right? I mean, that's obvious. You're so sweet. And so my connection, like with food and culture, kind of coming together was really strong. And so I had to give myself permission to be able to assess kind of what was going on with me and food and how I viewed it and all that kind of stuff, so that I could stop that whole cycle, right? And when I started to use supplementation, and I did it first, some of you do the food first, I did the supplements first, just because I wasn't going to change up my foods. But when I did that, it actually like prepped my body. It actually got me so that the food noise could simmer down. And I needed that to simmer down. But I know the feeling of it's Friday and let's have fun on the weekend, or let's cheat or treat. I treated myself all the time. Like, I finally had to make the decision that I was tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? Like, that was me. But in the meantime, I was learning kind of the new language of the food and the snacks and the ingredients and the recipes and all of that stuff. And I just want you to know that you're kind of learning a tiny bit of a new language. Now, it's not rocket science. It's not like you're learning Chinese, which is a very challenging language in comparison, right? It's not that. It's not that level, but it's kind of like you speak English and maybe you're learning a little bit of Spanish or Spanglish, right? I don't know Spanish, so I wish I did. I wish I knew Italian and Spanish and all of the things. But so it's not like the hardest language to learn. You're not learning Latin, but you are learning something. So just give yourself credit for that. Give yourself grace for that. So when you hit a weekend like this and you're like, okay, I don't want to start again on Monday, but doggone it, it is Friday. And maybe you're a family that loves football. Maybe you're a family that loves to run around. I'm in Minnesota, so pretty soon, like in October now, it'll be apple orchard time and, apple pie time and all of the things. And, I'm just saying, like, we have these patterns that we're trying to like maybe mitigate. And I want to help you do that. So if you grab a pen, I'm going to give you some really good ideas. Good morning, Phyllis. Good to see you. Very good to see you. I want to give you some actually tangible like ideas on what you can do this weekend so that you don't feel like you're resetting on Monday. Okay. So let's set you up for success. Somebody's giving me tons of likes. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very, very much. The glucose code. I love it very much. So when, Friday, this is what I do on Friday. I think about relaxing. I think about eating out, or, it used to be very much like that's the weekend thing to do, is to give into all your cravings and all that stuff. But you can actually do something completely different. So most women blow their progress on Friday night and they spend the whole weekend saying, I'll start fresh on Monday. Is that anybody? I'll start fresh on Monday. What if you could enjoy your weekend and then move towards your goals? And I feel like this is what I've mastered. And remember, I'm 60. I started when I was like right around 49, 50. I was a 2X in size. And it wasn't until I started to view everything through insulin resistance that everything changed. Okay. So that's where we are with this. So maybe you like to do a pizza night with your family, social event. Like maybe you're still kind of like drinking on the weekends. Not very helpful. I'm just going to be honest, like nothing will slow down your burning fat progress than drinking alcohol. It's really bad, especially if it's a sugar alcohol. But anyway, or you just want to have like a little treat or a Target run. Listen, I get all of this. I comprehend all of it. I've even had to tweak this last year because last winter? I was still having kind of a little treat mentality. Winters are a little more interesting in Minnesota, right? Like if you live in a northern state, you're like, oh, what can I do to get through the winter? Oh my gosh. And so you do kind of maybe adopt that. But I have learned how to do it within my own parameters and not make it so bad. So your weekend doesn't have to erase your progress. Like, let's not do that, right? Tiny shifts can actually keep you moving forward. Tiny. If you've ever read The Compound Effect or The Slight Edge, those are good books, right? All right, so here we go. Let's just chat. Hold on. I'm going to refresh that. Refreshing my page. Uno momento, por favor. Okay, see, that is Spanish. I'm so bad. That's not even good. All right. Here we go. Okay. So grain-free pizza night swap. This is where your pen comes into hand. So Oh, you've lost 45 pounds, but you're starting to waver. You need to lose another 50 and it seems so far away. Thank you. Thank you. Cheryl is in the house on TikTok. Thank you, Cheryl. You're amazing. You're starting to waver. Interesting. Isn't this interesting, you guys? Well, then let me equip you for the weekend, okay? Let me equip you. It will happen. I promise you it will happen. But don't blow your progress by getting your body back to craving all of the things. Remember, you guys, I wish I could like stay on here for like 3 hours with you right now. You might not want that, but like I have so much in my brain and in my heart. It's like, you are not depriving yourself of anything. You are not living in restriction land. You should never view food as punishing yourself. Find your trade-outs. Take the time. What is your favorite food? What is it? What is it? What is it? And then go to blogs like All Day I Dream About Food. Go to blogs like ketomaria.com. Get really, really good trade-outs and do your most significant one like this weekend. Okay, I'll give you a couple of ideas here and you can write them down, and these may help you, but find what it is for you. What is it that's tripping you up? Identify it, have no shame around it, and go find that replacement. And like prioritize your moment in that. No shame, just assess. This is my favorite. This is what I keep tripping up on. Why? Ask yourself why. Why do I trip up on this one? Is there a memory connected to it? Is this just habit? Is this what I do when I'm stressed? Some of you have so much stress in your body that you're not able to even you need to maybe even deal, not you, probably Rebecca, but you need to deal with your stress first. Some of you have to identify, I'm riddled with anxiety and I need to deal with my anxiety. Because your body just can't perform, right? That's where I would talk to somebody about like the ashwagandha and magnesium I take, things like that to get your body, your nervous system back going. But you can do this. I promise you, today is for you. So let's say you want to do a grain-free pizza night. Well, I have actually kind of gone to the point where if I were to want a pizza night, I could do, number one, I could do a pizza bowl. Okay. My husband just told me that like Pizza Hut and Domino's are even doing pizza bowls. Now their sauce probably has sugar in it, so you got to be careful about that. But still, I was like, really? That's kind of interesting. Or you know how I make my egg white protein bread? I can use that as pizza dough. But I'm going to give you a fathead dough recipe. Have you ever heard of a fathead dough? Has anybody heard of this before? I'd love to know. Sue says, totally. Yes, yes, yes. Has anybody heard of a fathead dough recipe before? I'm going to give it to you. Freezing on Facebook again. What is going on? Good morning, Magda. Good to see you. Terry, good to see you. So a fathead dough recipe. This is where I started when I was switching things out. Now I don't do this one as much anymore just because I have to like not eat too many nuts and nut flours, I can overeat on nuts and nut flours, but this is such a great trade out. So 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese, 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. Now this is not going to make a huge one, so you might have to double it depending upon the size you're making. 1 cup of almond flour, 1 egg, and a pinch of salt. Okay, so I'm going to read that again for you guys. 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella, 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, 1 cup of almond flour, not almond meal. Oh, could you try almond meal with this one? Potentially, because some pizza crusts are made out of cornmeal, so maybe, but I wouldn't bake with almond meal. There's a big difference. Hi, Jody. Good to see you. 1 cup of almond flour, 1 egg, and a pinch of salt. Now, we're not replacing wheat flour here. Don't be confused. I know, right? Like we all want everything to be as elastic and amazing as wheat flour is, all that glutinous amazingness, right? We want flour tortillas to be the same if we make it with, almond flour. This is not realistic. Or the egg whites, the egg life wraps, which are amazing. But It's not the same. So when you mix this, you take your 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella and your 2 ounces of cream cheese, and you put them in the oven, in the microwave, and you just melt them a little bit so that you can mix them. And then you're adding in the almond flour, the egg, and the pinch of salt. And you're going to basically have a dough that's just a ball, right? Because think of it, a ball of cheese and almond flour, and you're going to press it out, maybe onto parchment paper. And again, you might have to double it. If it was just me and my husband, this is perfect. But if it's like a large family, you're going to have to play with this, right? But you're going to press it out until it's the shape that you want. And it's not like the super elasticy, consistency. However, this will give you a very crispy crust. Okay. You can actually get this to be a crispy crust and it will taste really good. I mean, this is probably the one that has the potential to be the most flakiest and the most, kind of like appealing. Right? Now, you could also do a crust like this, where you take like a can of chicken and you can drain that. And then you're going to add, now this one I don't really have a recipe for, so just follow the concept on this one because it just came to me that you can do a chicken crust as well. And you can add egg to it and seasonings. So can of chicken and egg and seasonings, and maybe you would need a couple cans of chicken, right? And a couple eggs. But when you do that and you lay that on parchment paper, you can actually, and for both of them, I would put them in the oven for a few minutes first, like maybe even, 5, 6, 7 minutes, then pull it out and put toppings on it. Get the crust going first, right? And those options, you guys, I'm telling you, you don't have to feel like you're missing out on life, but it does take intentionality to decide you're going to try something different like this weekend. You're going to try something different and you're not going to have to restart again on Monday, etc. Right? Okay. So that is the pizza dough conversation. So you melt the mozzarella, you put the cream cheese in there. Basically, you're adding the almond flour, the egg, the seasonings. You're rolling it up. You can even roll it up between 2 sheets of parchment paper. Bake it at 400 for 8 minutes until it's lightly golden brown. And then you can add sauce, cheese, toppings, and then return it to the oven. Okay? I hope that makes sense. You guys, this is exactly what I did. Yes, you made fathead dough many times. Yes. It's really, you can also turn that fathead dough. Maria Emmerich teaches you how to turn that into pastries, where you take and you make them in like little rectangles like this. And one of those fathead doughs will get you 4 little rectangles. So you're going to end up with 2 pastries. And what you do is you make like a cream cheese, raspberry, maybe some Swerve confectioner's sugar. She has it in her Sugar-Free Kids cookbook. And you make the inside, and you put that in there, and then you put the other rectangle right on top of it, and you fork it all the way around, and you bake those. And they're like your own toaster pastries. They are good. That is really good. Meg just says, try ground chicken, spread it on parchment paper, then let it bake till it's dry and crunchy, and it works well. Thank you, Magda. Chicken crust. Oh, Phyllis says the chicken crust also has Parmesan in the recipe. So actually, if you were to go and type in carnivore crust into like Google or into ChatGPT, you would probably get that kind of a recipe. A carnivore crust would probably be made out of chicken. That's oftentimes what it's called. Okay. So that's kind of the pizza idea. And there would be no sustaining what I do if I didn't love my life. I just decided I was going to take all the foods that I already loved. I was going to change out the ingredients and then have a different food supply that wasn't going to continually spike my sugars and call on insulin, so that I'm in that mode of fat storing instead of fat burning. And that's literally what I've done. So Shama says, can I read the ingredients? Yes, I will. I'll read them another time here for you. You betcha. You betcha. Okay. 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese. 1.5 cups. 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. So, it's probably about this much off of a block. 1 cup of almond flour. 1 egg and a pinch of salt. You could also add in garlic powder or Italian herbs. What? Like that's a very, very good option also. Okay, so that's the fathead dough. All right. Now, you could also do taco bowl instead of taco shells. That's probably not necessarily groundbreaking information, but think about it in terms of doing instead of doing a taco salad that has, all of the tortilla chips, or you've got the corn tortilla, you've got all that, or the flour tortilla. Number one, you could do tacos inside of Egg Life wraps. Those are a great trade out. You can get them at Aldi's, or you can do tacos in a bowl, just like you would, you're having a bowl instead of the actual tacos. You're just making yourself a taco salad. But instead of using those crisps, you could either go out and buy Parmesan crisps. You could make your own Parmesan crisps in the oven, not hard to do at all. If you just have to have that crunchy crunch, you could also use pork rinds. So you could make a taco bowl with all of your taco-y meat and salsa and cheese and sour cream and yumminess, and you could take pork rinds and dip into the taco bowl. Another one would be like a what is it? It's a mug cake. And the reason why I say this is because this is another option that now oftentimes they're made with almond flour. I'm going to tell you the one that I was trying last week, and actually I liked it better than the almond flour because it was a little more cheesecakey, and I like that. So you have to decide for yourself. But again, if you were to Google or ChatGPT mug cake, this is kind of what you would find. So somebody now who wants something sweet on the tongue, right? Here we go. So I'm going to read it because I didn't like the recipe that I saw there. So I'm going to read this one because this is the one that I actually used. 2 ounces of softened cream cheese. So you put a little bit of cream cheese into a mug, like into the microwave, and mix it up a little bit after it's softened just a little bit. Add in an egg. And then add in a tablespoon of protein powder. Now, I have like a grass-fed whey protein powder that's sweetened with stevia. I use that. I don't know what protein powder you're using. Some of them are pretty trashy, so check your ingredients. But a tablespoon of protein powder, and that's in then lieu of almond flour, right? 1 to 2 tablespoons of sweetener. So I'm trying to remember. I think I might have even just used my Lakanto erythritol monk fruit granulated. I don't know if I might have used my powdered swerve, but I'm not sure. But just 1 to 2 tablespoons, depends on what you're needing or wanting, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, I've done it where I've only mixed it with a fork, and I've done it where I've taken my what's that called? It's an immersion, but I put the whipper on it instead of the immersion part, and I whip it up. I kind of like it when it's been whipped up really good. And it tastes really good. 60 seconds in the microwave. And then what you can do is you could take unsweetened chocolate from the baking aisle in Walmart. Like it's literally the Great Value brand. And it is unsweetened baking chocolate, and it's a chocolate liqueur. And you could like shave it on top if you wanted to. I'm just saying. Or you could add cocoa to any of that recipe, and now you have a chocolate mug cake anyway. So you choose kind of what you want to do with that. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yum. I know, right? Yum, Cindy says. Okay, so here's another one. If you've never done like, you know how Starbucks, they sell like the little egg bites? They're actually really good. I'm sure that they're not, I don't know what all the ingredients are, but they're actually really good. I've grabbed them in an airport. Like, you're on your way, you're running, grab the egg bites. That's a good option to at least not, ruin your entire everything. But you can make your own. And so grab a muffin tin, grab a mini muffin tin, and you can even get them, inexpensively, like at Walmart or whatever. And if you have those on hand and you make yourself little egg bites, what you can do is you can take equal ounces of cream cheese to eggs. So if you have 3 ounces of cream cheese, use 3 eggs. 4 ounces of cream cheese, 4 eggs, you get the point. Whip that up in your blender or use an immersion blender, and you can put little toppings into your mini muffin pie tin. Like maybe you want green pepper, onion. People are like, where do you get your carbs from? This is where you get your carbs from. They're coming from your vegetables or like if you're eating berries. Okay. So you can put your green pepper, your onion, your mushrooms, whatever it is, dice them up, put them in your little muffin tins, and then pour equal amounts of egg and cream cheese with maybe whatever seasoning you want right on top of them and bake them. And I'll tell you, having something like that on hand in your refrigerator is extremely helpful, because if you can get up in the morning and then, whether you're waiting to get hungry or not, I kind of wait a little bit because I just don't need to eat right away when I wake up. So I'm usually awake for a few hours and then I eat. Whenever it is though, I want to have something available that's not going to spike my sugars. Breakfast is, they used to always tell us that breakfast was the most important meal of the day. But the reason why they told us that is because they were selling us cereal. So you don't have to eat when you wake up, but when you do eat, when you do break your fast, make it high protein so that you are satiated and full and balanced. You'll have this sense of well-being for hours, because you only ate like eggs and maybe a chicken sausage. Maybe you even threw in Oikos 000 yogurt, whatever, just lots of protein. So having those egg bites around, really, really helpful, okay? And then you can also do like a guacamole plate. Like we've got football season here, and it makes me think about how, sometimes we feel like we get left out, or we might have that victim mentality creep in just a little bit, and we need to get rid of that victim mentality and just develop things for ourselves, if we're hosting something or if we're going somewhere, bring it, right? But you can mash avocado with lime and salt and garlic powder, and you can use pork rinds and cucumber slices and bell pepper strips. And I know that that's not rocket science or anything, but it's just really important to understand that there's a trade out literally for everything. And maybe guacamole is that's the thing that you love the most, and you've been wanting to figure out how to do guacamole. Well, you can do it with the taco bowl. Maybe you can do it with pork rinds. You can do things differently than you've done before and not hate your life. You don't have to live on crap food. That was back in the 90s, you guys. Let it go. Let it go. That was a long time ago. Now you get to actually take all of the real ingredients and turn them into real food. And it literally changes everything. So I would love to know, like, is there something that you're looking to trade out? What are you treating yourself with on the weekends? What is it that you gravitate towards? And because once you identify, then you can switch it out. And here we are in 2025. The blogs are limitless. I'm not the recipe creator. I just kind of talk about it with you guys, right? And then I make things here in my kitchen. And then I'm like, yeah, I like that, right? But I don't have to be the creator anymore. That's not required of me, because there are so many that will do it for me, right? And I just have to follow their lead. Today in the group, I'm making it's like a pumpkin cheesecake muffin. And because we're in pumpkin season coming up, right? And I'll tell you, I loved her recipe. And when I teach it today, I'll tell you why I loved her recipe. Somebody's gone before me and they've paid attention to a few things, right? And I didn't have to come up with that, but I can recreate it for you. And then I can give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And then we can, you know what I'm saying? Like, you find what you love in your repertoire. You might be like, I am so not a pumpkin person. No problem. You don't have to be. Then maybe you're an apple crisp person in the fall. Go find yourself a recipe for apple crisp made. Type in keto apple crisp, and they're going to teach you how to make an apple crisp recipe out of zucchini. And you're going to be shocked. You're going to be like, how is this possible? And I'm just telling you, there's a trade out for freaking everything. You do not have to live like you are in deprivation land. That's not what we do over here, okay? And the reason why this is so important, and then I'll go over some supplements for you if you want to accelerate. The reason why this is so incredibly important is because you are not doing this for a minute in time. If you are doing this for just a moment in time, and then you don't care what happens after that, okay. But that wasn't my goal. My goal was, I want to figure this out. I want to lose my sizes. I want to actually maintain my accomplishment, not because I was, I signed up for the program. Whatever. I was not looking for a 3-month journey. I had a goal of, I wanted to be normal again. That was my goal. Might not be yours. but I wanted to be normal again. I just spent most of my life not being, and this is me in my head. So just, you have to understand, this is me, because there were a lot of mixed messages in my Italian family and upbringing. So to me, normal was, being a certain size and all of these things, but I wanted to be normal, and I did not want to be, in my head, a normal person was more like my grandma, who was Swedish. She was thin her entire life. She never got dementia. She played Scrabble until she passed, and she ate real food. And that was my model of normal in a sea of abnormal, in a sea of metabolic dysfunction. She was my normal. And I'm like, that's what I want for me. So not only did I figure out how to change my sizes, but I've kept it off. But it was my own journey, right? Own your journey, own it, because then you get to keep it. If you right now are learning how to fish, you're right now learning how to take care of your body and how to get it to stop the cycle that nobody maybe ever told you that the cycle existed. That's the challenge, right? It's like, why have I never heard this before? That if I'm spiking my sugars all the time, my pancreas is releasing insulin, it's grabbing the sugar and taking into my cell, but now I'm insulin resistant and my cell door is closed, so now all of that energy gets stored as fat. And I'm asking myself, why can't I burn fat? Oh, because my insulin is constantly high. Oh, because my liver is sluggish and it will not burn fat, and it's my fat burning organ. Oh, now I have a baseline of understanding, and now I can move forward with a little bit more clarity. I'm still a little junky on ingredients. I'm still a little wobbly on learning a new recipe, but at least I have better understanding than by this program that's not based in root causes. It's the best way that I can put it. Once and for all, make the decision you're going to try root causes. And the root cause is insulin resistant. And so everything I do when I talk to you about food or supplementation, it is all about moving your body towards insulin sensitivity. And you can choose your own pace. Just stick with me for a while, right? There's a lot of free content and a lot of free opportunity with the challenges that are free in the group. Okay. So Patty says, me too. I want to be normal. I know. And we have it in our heads, you guys. It's okay, right? It's okay. It was drilled in me. But you know what my normal is now? My normal is that I'm the only person in my immediate family to have avoided type 2 diabetes. My normal is that I'm 60 and I'm not on meds. My normal is that my body functions. I think it's a pretty good gauge. It's a pretty good gauge. Okay, so when it comes to supplementation, and I did a lot of this in my stories today, so if you need a repeat, you can go to my stories. I don't do that very often, but I just felt like today that was a good thing to give you information on as you go into the weekend, because there are times in our weekend where maybe we have some downtime, we're doing a little bit more scrolling, or maybe taking time to actually watch a replay of something or whatever. And Sue says she wants her normal too. Yep. And these things used to be normal. Nobody ever told my grandma that we weren't doing that. We weren't putting down people for eating real food. We weren't putting people down for eating real food. And then as they are obese, telling them, honey, it's all about balance. What about your health and function and feeling good and not aching and not being so dang exhausted all the time that you can't actually even, you're just going to sleep through every movie you go to with grandbabies. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't the life that I wanted. Give me normal, Patty says. Yep. Good. Okay. So where I started was with the trio. Those are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. And remember, that's everything I talk about is about insulin sensitivity. So this is where I started a little over 10 years ago. And it fully supported me just by itself in losing my 3 sizes. I was trading out my foods at the same time. Okay. So that's the trio. Think in your head, insulin, sugars, liver, metabolism. Insulin, sugars, liver, metabolism. Okay. That's the trio. And these are things that were not available to me. And so now, of course, I use them and I've gotten better results than I've ever had, even in the last year. And you guys then mimic me. you crush my results on it. But taking care of your gut and your liver is just of such a high importance, because literally your liver governs your hormones. Insulin is a hormone, governs the glucose in your blood, governs whether or not you will ever lose a pound of fat. So once you know that, you're like, oh, I'm just going to love my liver every day. Well, if you've had your gallbladder removed, or, all of these things, you got all of these different, like symptoms of, constipation, and maybe you have a lot of diarrhea. You just know your gut is super inflamed. You know that your body is just out of whack. You know that your digestive system, you bloat very easily, and all of these things. This is where the gut primer comes in. So I had mine this morning already, and I just take a scoop. I should probably get myself a new container out of my cupboard. So I take a scoop. It smells like green tea. It's literally like fermented greens, and then you can smell the alkaline spices, because that's the turmeric and the ginger, etc. And we're talking pre and postbiotics and digestive enzyme, all of the things you need for your GI tract, okay? And the goal is to heal and seal your gut. It's literally the goal, because then you can, you don't understand, your gut is connected to your anxiety, it's connected to your depression, it's connected to freaking everything. And some people, actually, you just need to start here. If you have a lot of anxiety, reach out to me and ask me about ashwagandha and magnesium. Ask me about those. If you're just kind of riddled with anxiety, even if it's that low level, and maybe you don't want to start with, the trio, but you need to start with getting your gut aligned, just reach out to me, okay? Because sometimes people have to start there. But Primer Probiotic, this is a 5-strain, they're alive, and I put it on my tongue, and that's what I do. It has really amazing technology so that they stay alive in your gut. I got a frog in my throat the other day too, kind of weird. And then the last piece is the orange pixie stick, and this is literally created to target your visceral fat, to target. And just saying that, like, I want people to feel the weight of that, to have something that will actually target visceral fat, and visceral fat is what's alive. It's the fat that's getting created because of your insulin resistance, and you don't even know about it. You think your belly's fat because of what you can squeeze right here. Your belly's fat because of what's going on down deep in your organs, around your organs, your intestines, all of it. Like, it's that fat that's getting laid down because of insulin resistance, and then it's pushing it out. And then now you've got a bigger belly, and sometimes it's a bigger, harder belly, and you're like, what's going on? Deal with that visceral fat. So this is where it tastes like candy. You put it on your tongue every day, orange candy, and it's a clinical dose of an extract. 90 days on, 30 days off, because it's a thermogenic and you don't want to get used to it, okay? And I'll tell you, the inches that are lost just with this one product are phenomenal. Phenomenal. And this is where you're losing it, right here. Okay, so it's right underneath your bra here, right on your waist here, and then right on your hips. Okay, because it's your trunk. That's where the visceral fat gets laid. So it's not targeting the fat on the inside of your knees. It's targeting the visceral fat. I'm not saying that you'll never lose that. I'm just saying that's how that is. Okay, so I want you to understand that. And then when people put all of this together, and this is where, I'm going to tell you, like, these 6 little products right here, this is where people get really amazing results for sure. Different levels of results, people doing different things. I just crack myself up. But this is what I call the total body reset right here, these 6 products. So 3 of them are for liver. Okay. This tablet right here, hold on, I'm going to grab that. This tablet right here is for your liver. This pixie stick is for your liver. And this gut primer is for your liver, 3 of them. So sometimes people are like, I only want to do my liver. Okay. But I will just tell you quickly how you can just see my site. I just want to give you full disclosure of how you can see things. I'll show you where the free stuff is. I'll show you how to get into the group. My site, it's right here on Facebook and YouTube. It's my first last name .com, kirstenliebelt.com. And so when you go there, you will see immediately this product spotlight. These are the 4 things that I just showed you. The trio, the liver reset stack, the 3 that are for just the liver. If you're like, I need to do something about my liver. Megda had an MRI that came back and her fatty liver went from bad to mild over the last year. Like, talk about giving yourself permission for a journey. This is the gut reset, just the primer and the probiotic, and this is all of it. Okay, so those are the 4. But here's my before and after. But here is 3 resources right there for you: the free protein blueprint, the egg white bread, the sugar-free chocolate pudding, and then if you go like this and you go all the way to the bottom, there's a Facebook icon right here. If you go to that Facebook icon, it'll take you to the group. Just give your email to get in there. And you could get in there today. You could spend the weekend watching the replays. Today is day number 5. They're all up in the featured section of the group, in the featured section. And today's recipe day. And you could start with Monday. No, there's no session that's over an hour. Most of them, I think, are 45 minutes or less. And we went through insulin resistance and food ingredient trade outs. My pantry, my refrigerator. Yesterday, we did a deep dive into the supplementation. You can imagine that, like, I'm so brief here. That was the deep dive if you need better understanding, because listen, a confused mind does nothing. I'm in no hurry. I'm in no hurry for anybody to get started on my program. I'm really not. But when you're ready, I just want you to know I'm ready. I'm ready for you. I am ready to partner with you. And then today we'll do the recipe, and we're going to do the cheesecake pumpkin muffins, and they taste amazing. My husband was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He loves it when I do recipe day in the group. So that's kind of what you're doing as far as if you need to look at something, you need to have understanding. If you're like, you know what, I'm the person who's going to sit and read every testimony ever known to mankind, then go to the top of my IG, my Insta. There are little highlight bubbles, and they're not even all there. I've kind of slacked on getting them in there, but you can just sit there and tap and read and tap and read. Tons on just the trio alone, some are on the total body. Like, just understand that when you take a root cause approach to anything that you're doing, your body will actually perform for you. And that's your goal. You want your body to respond and perform for you. It just needed some help because we kind of drove it like a rental car. And now we're where we are. And we actually want results, and we're trying to like beat it into submission. Give me my results. And your body's like, I can't. So I'm all about teaching you that root cause conversation. All right. I hope you have the best weekend ever. I have a lot of fun Minnesota things. It kind of feels a little October-ish. Our business team is doing the local leg of our business team. We're doing a bunch of like bonfires and football game and doing all those things this weekend. So I hope you've got something, Pine Haven, which is like an apple farm, and all of the things this weekend. I hope you have something planned that's good too. But in and around all of these little things that you have, social events, and you just want to relax for the weekend, find something that you can replace. If you're a pizza fiend, make that fathead dough. Try something that's different and give yourself a chance to be like, oh, I do still get to enjoy the things that I love. Right? Do that. You too, Terry. Have an awesome weekend. And I'll see everybody in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to make our recipe. Okay? So, all right. Have a really good weekend, you guys. Love you so, so much. If you have any questions, always ask.